It is good to see everybody. I'm excited about today's service, and we have a word that we're going to bring to you here in just a moment. But first of all, we just wanted to update you on a ministry that's been taking place here at the church. Oh my goodness, for how long now? Since 2015. Wow, this is Donna Chance, and she's been the director of our ministry, Engaged. And this ministry actually just dovetails into the vision that we have for this church. Years ago, in 2007, I preached a series talking about awakening the arts within the church. And so this ministry is it's a ministry that addresses that issue. And so Donna, talk a little bit about what we've been doing with Engaged and a little bit about the future.
Okay, speaking is not my gift, so I'm sorry I had to bring some cheat sheets. Thank you. I wanted to speak to the why because I've never done that before. We always tell y'all what we're doing, but we never say why. And half the church doesn't even know we exist. So y'all, we have an art ministry at Cathedral. Please come be a part of it. There was a time in America, and I still remember this, it wasn't that long ago, where the church actually owned the culture. I mean, you couldn't even put a cuss word in a movie. It was a national scandal if you did. Everyone went to church. You were embarrassed if you didn't go to church. I mean, country music singers had to put gospel songs in their albums or they were ignored. There was no secular versus sacred. That didn't exist. That just happened. Humanists did that. They let us separate the culture so they could then isolate us. So what we're trying to do is marry that back together and influence these cultural mountains. I think one of the biggest things we ever did is abdicate so much ground in these mountains. The number one influencer of culture, because I was asking Lord, why arts? At first I didn't get it. I thought I'd be helping to raise the dead and all this stuff, and I'm like, why arts? But he said it's the number one influencer of culture. The media and the arts is the number one influencer of culture. And as Liz Walnall says, the culture is what's discipling your children when you're not paying attention.
So when we're talking about the arts, we're talking about, they need to understand, we're talking about movies, music. It's not just the word arts.
Yeah, it's not painting and dancing.
Yeah. It can include
we do have flagging.
Yes, but it goes way beyond that.
Yes.
And the media, the Hollywood, the music industry, all those things are shaping the minds and the thinking of our children.
Yeah. And as the next generation goes, so goes the nation.
Yes. And
if you don't have a Christian nation, the gospel is opposed at every turn and in every system. That's why the arts. So in 2015, after receiving 5 prophecies in 2 weeks, and one of them was pretty stern in the end, I stepped out and went and talked to Pastor about starting Engaged. Our mission statement is engaging the culture for Christ with our gifts, talents, and abilities while restoring the arts to the church. So we are helping now. Besides art, we do all kinds of art. We have projects, writing. We went and painted out the community. We're working with Boomtown Film Festival, which we need a lot of people to help us with that if anybody's interested in film. We're helping to be our prayer covering for lots of artists and creatives right now that are climbing these secular mountains, and they need help. We have one family out in Hollywood that we're helping, and they call on a consistent basis, and they're doing really well. If I said the TV shows they were on, you would know them. But it's like navigating a minefield. You never know where the next mine is going to come. And so to have a church and have support like this to turn to, I had to go to David one time and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do about this. To have this kind of wisdom is invaluable. So I'm hoping you guys will get involved. We need prayer warriors to join with us to pray for these artists. And then we need writers. I'm trying to invite you in. And it's not as much work as you think. We need artists, we need creatives, entrepreneurs, techies. I mean, we want to do all of that. Our vision started this big, and now it's like this big.
And there was a time, I know, you had some Friday night services.
Yes.
And where people would have the opportunity to get on stage and to express their artistic skills,
yes,
rather it was singing, speaking, or writing.
Yes.
So there were different arts being expressed. But I know one night I went and you had tables set up, and at one table was writers, at one table was singers, at one table was those that do public speaking, one table would be painters.
Right.
And so it's just amazing to see all these artistic people in one room,
right,
and how that they're using their arts to glorify God. And so that was just a powerful time.
And it's every generation. It's
yeah.
not just, we had kids with adults. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one ministry. There's no age to who can be in it. So you can bring your kids and do it together with your kids.
And so that kind of brings us to where we are today. I know here a few weeks ago we brought up Brian and Josemary, and they had an opportunity to sing, and then we prayed over them, and it was just a great opportunity to see that younger generation. And then again today, we have an opportunity to acknowledge someone in our church that's in the music industry in Nashville, and God's opening doors to him.
Right.
And he's a part of this house, and it's exciting to see what God's doing with him. Talk a little bit about Michael.
Okay, so Michael came to us around 2018, and he has an amazing voice. I don't know how many of y'all have heard it, but it's top-notch level. But so many of us haven't been involved in helping him to evolve into something that would possibly be able to engage that mountain in Nashville. Josemary's helped him with voice lessons. They helped us polish this music video you're going to see. One of Clay Walker's songwriters actually gave us some tips we didn't know what to do with, and Josemary and Brian helped develop that. So it's been one big team effort to get this thing done, but the music video is top-notch. God supplied Air One to record this thing for us free.
Wow.
Like, that doesn't happen. They're huge. And I could just go on and on and on about the videographer. The videographer does like $50,000 videos at Warner Brothers, and I won't say money, but it was a miracle what happened for us. So God works. We're trying to engage these mountains. So if y'all can be a part of this at any level, we really need prayer warriors, but we also need people to help us work the film festival and different things like that. So please find me or find David. He knows how to get a hold of me, because we're an extension of the worship department. We have flags, all different areas of art that we would just love to have y'all come be a part of.
So today we wanted to share with you the latest music video by Michael Ryan, and it will be released. Has it been released yet, or?
Today?
Today, it's being released today.
Right.
You get to see it now. So if you would, turn your attention to the screen for the latest video, Michael Ryan.
Grandpa took me fishing a long time ago to a place called the Cove in early June. We pulled up by the creek bank, just the crickets and the heat, under an old tree, get a wind shade. He said, let me tell you something my old grandpa told me. Back in the Depression in 1933, this world is full of troubles, and you will have your own. But trouble ain't a load for me to carry all alone. There was a man who stretched his arms and died, so we may have life if you just believe it. There'll be things that happen, I know that just ain't right, but he knows the pain you're feeling, and he came to help you fight. He 'cause I can't help myself. So I lay down all my burdens on the one who conquered hell. There was a man who stretched his arms and died, so we may have life if you just believe it. There'll be things that happen I know that just ain't right, but he knows the pain you're feeling, and he came to help you fight. He stretched his arms and died, so we may have life, and I believe it.
Would you welcome Michael Ryan to his home church? We appreciate young men like Michael that are willing to take their gifting and use it, but also use it for the glory of God. You know, to step into Nashville and that arena, that's a challenge. And so to get in the music industry and to be a man of God is not easy today, but that's what we have to do in order to change the culture. And so, Michael, talk a little bit about your journey, where God's had you, where God's taken you.
Sure. Check one, check two. All right. Well, I appreciate you having me up here. You know, I was one of those people trying to figure out, you know, what direction to go in life. You know, should I do this? Should I do that? You know, I started out at the working at the Port Arthur Fire Department, and I did that for 3.5 years. And I felt like I was called to ministry of some type. And growing up, I can remember my mom singing as a kid, and I realized that I had that same gift. You know, so I started pursuing it, and while I was working at the fire department, I started making music videos while I was working. You know, just to put stuff out there. Faith Without Works is dead. And so anyway, I started doing that. And I remember one day I was praying to God at the fire station, and I asked God. I said, God, if you want me to do this music full time, you know, to quit my job, take that next step, I need a sign. I need you to show me something. And the tones went off a few minutes later, maybe 30 seconds later. And there was a person out in public who recognized me. He said, "Oh my gosh, are you Michael Ryan?" Because they saw the music video. But my full name wasn't on my uniform, so they recognized my music video. So God answered that prayer instantly. And, you know, so, but that wasn't the end of it. You know, that was just the start of it, you know. And having to go out there and go out in the world, you know, figure out, you know, how do you do this? How do you know, meet producers? How do you record? How do you get stuff on TV or radio? It was just step by step. And God has used this ministry as engaged to help me. I mean, just round me as an artist, help me as an artist, and disciple me throughout that process. So I'm so thankful for him. And I'm thankful for this church, for this house. This is my home church, allowing Engage to do what they do.
And you've been moving back and forth between Nashville and Beaumont.
Correct.
Back and forth, yeah. And Michael has stayed in touch with me. He's come into my office and asked me to pray over him. And it's just been very encouraging to see how that he's trying to keep his footing and stay established within his home church and to work as an extension of this house. And so we wanted to share this with you today because it's exciting to see what God's doing in and through him, but also to know that we may play just a small part in that, and that we're behind him, and want to encourage you to pray for him, that God would continue to give him favor and open doors to him and use him. Because how many believe that we need godly men in the music industry? And let's change things. Let's take it outside the four walls of the church. Amen? So, God bless you, Michael. We're so excited. Do you have CDs up front?
Not up front, but I do have some with me.
You got some with you.
So I'll bring them up front.
You'll bring them up front. If you'd like to you'd like to meet Michael after service, he's got some CDs. He'll sign them for you, I'm sure. And you can take a pic with him. And one day when he's on Grand Ole Opry, I'm looking for something. You can say, I knew him when. Amen? Give Michael a hand. God bless him.